Sweet as. Now this is a special one. This is a special one to me. Just for the series, it's Final Fantasy again. I love it. But this one is about not the characters who suffered the most, but it's about who hurt me the most. Ranked by how much emotional damage they caused me. And I'm quite an emotional boy when it comes to media. Things like this. I'm susceptible to a doesn't even have to really be a good story, but I'm susceptible to an emotion, bit of emotion in a story. It gets me. It hits me. So yeah, this is just some characters to rank on how much emotional damage they caused me. Obviously my tiers are a wee bit different here. Permanent emotional damage, actively ruined me, lingering sadness, quiet background pain, and then manageable trauma. There's definitely going to be some unmanageable trauma. Definitely. But yeah, anyway, tell me if there's any characters that stick out in it for you in the history of the series that cause the most stress, the most trauma. And please subscribe and like if you want to. Anyway, let's begin. First character, see, it's just gonna be a sad list. Aerith Gainsborough. Lives knowing her role as the last Cetra, a ancient race of people that were wiped out by an evil meteoric parasite. But she always chooses kindness, despite inevitable death. But she does die quite suddenly without closure. Well, I mean, you don't really get closure with her, because she kind of just runs away, and then you finally catch up to her, and then she's gone. Why it hurts me, obviously the shock of the death, just the silence, and then when the music hits, when her white materia drops out of her hair and bounces on that first stone, the boom boom boom, and it's just unfair. She is such a kind-hearted person, and then she just gets ganked by that evil white-haired fuck. I'm gonna put her on top. It's got to be top for me. And it's just one of those moments. It's iconic. It hit. I was a kid, so it probably didn't hit me as hard as it would have if I was a little bit older. But the remake, that still hit pretty hard when she went, because they only built on her character in 2 longer games based around her instead of her dying at the end of disc 1. But yeah, I think she's got to go up there. That's just sad. I think about it from time to time, and she's not real. Arden Azunia, the main villain in Final Fantasy 15. Now, unpopular opinion for me, Final Fantasy 15 is one of my absolute favourite games in the history of gaming. I love it. It hit me at a time in my life where it's kind of it was just me and a couple friends just kind of going out. It was just us. We went out and we started, working hard and making money and just doing a little bit better for ourselves. And then I get this game, and it's just a guy and his friends. On a much larger scale, obviously they're saving the world, but it hit me. So Final Fantasy 15 holds a very special place. Arden, I didn't quite understand first playing it. I was like, this guy, he's kind of just letting you get away with it. He's letting you get away with it, he's letting you build up power to eventually challenge him. But then you play as DLC. And then he's cursed with immortality and hatred, betrayed by the gods and erased from history. His brother, the Star Scourge, was an ancient disease that was spreading through the people. Arden was the good kind. He had a way of healing this poison off people, but he would absorb it within himself. Now his brother decided to cleanse the world of the Star Scourge through force. He rallied armies and he attacked the demons head on. Once the brother managed to win, Arden had consumed that much Star Scourge from other people. He himself was becoming a demon. But again, he's just helping people. He's healing them. He's healing people by taking the burden on himself. And the brother demonized him. He saw this perfect opportunity. We can get rid of the other brother of the line. And his brother Somnus became the first king of Noctis' line of royalty. all the way back then, and they locked him away, and he just festered, growing, hating these people. And then when he comes out, he's kind of forced to become the villain. He's just growing so mad all the time, and then he sees Noctis supposed to be this chosen king, and Noctis looks exactly like the brother who ganked him. So then Arden, he wants vindication. He never gets redemption. He does get vindication. He kind of thrusts the world into darkness for a few years there. He ends the world, but Noctis comes back and gets him. But he wanted to let Noctis get all the strength of the kings, of the fallen kings, and fight him, so Arden could take them all out once. Be like, you're all not shit. I think it's lingering sadness for me. Just because it's pretty sad, but it didn't hit me the initial playthrough. I don't know if I was missing something or it didn't click. And then you play that DLC, maybe it's all in that DLC, and that's poor design. But playing that DLC, you really learn the tragedy of his character. Like, he was just trying to help. Yeah, it's sad. This is all going to be pretty sad. No, it's going to be sad. Auron, Final Fantasy X, dies with regret and unfinished promises. Walks Spira knowing a cardinal truth of the way that their religion and their life exists. No one else does. And he exists solely to fix his past failures. He already lost on his pilgrimage. He accompanied High Summoner Braska, which is Yuna's father. It was Yuna's father was the summoner. It was Tidus's father, Jecht, was the guardian. And Auron was the other guardian, a monk from Bevelle. And they went to Zanarkand to fight Sin, and as they got there they learnt that, well, they knew the summoner had to die, because the summoner never made it home. But then they learnt that a guardian would have to give their life to become the final summon, the final Aeon, and defeat Sin, and then they too would become the next Sin. It's a cycle of death and rebirth. That just makes the game, it's the country's called Spira, it's a spiral, it's literally a spiral. Auron dies once Braska and Jecht have given their lives to kill Sin, but then Sin comes back with Jecht becoming Sin. Auron confronts Yunalesca, she's kind of just the messenger. Like, she was the first High Summoner to do it. She's just there in spirit telling other people what to do. And Auron confronts her and tries to gank her, and she murks him. She sends him flying. She fucks him up. He crawls down Mount Gargazet and he dies. But then he goes to Dreamworld Zanarkand. He brings Tidus over, the same way Jecht came over. And he accompanies everyone. Really, he already lost, but he's just trying to help you win. He's a ghost. He's a walking ghost. He's a walking storyteller. Like, he is the monologue guy. A lot of spoilers. But for me, I think that falls more into a quiet background pain, because he doesn't voice, you don't really know he's dead when he can't cross into the far plane, and there's little people's reactions all around the place that they kind of know, like someone smells something on him, they're like, something's up here. But he's dead, he's a literal ghost following you around. But he doesn't put his trauma on anyone. He wouldn't have even told you that. Yunalesca, the Fireflies in Zanarkand recreate his death scene in front of the party, and I'm pretty sure he'd be standing there like, you dickheads, how dare you do that to me. But I mean, at the end of the day, he helps you win. Like, he kind of gets the redemption. I'm never really, like, his story's sad, but he keeps pushing forward. He does everything he can to help. Balthier. He is son of Sid, Final Fantasy XII Sid. A high respected, I don't know, is he just an engineer in Magitech? Smart man, something. Sid's always a smart man, inventor. I don't know if he's a judge. Balthier was supposed to become a judge, rejected his legacy to escape responsibility. He's just your kind of classic, smarmy, bit of a comic relief guy, because he hides the fear behind that humour and confidence. You know, a little bit like me. But he knows his past will always catch him. He's the leading man, well, he calls himself that, but he never lets himself be in the lead role. He always holds himself back. But I just think that's, like, to me, that's all manageable trauma. Like, he's kind of just a, like, cool character. I'm not taking any away from Balthier as a character, but for going off how it emotionally hurt me, I thought, he comes from the capital, he's a rich boy with a rich dad, and he wanted to get away, and he wanted to do something a bit, so he became a sky pirate. With the money that Daddy bought me this ash. Cecil Harvey. If you can't tell with that picture, that's Dark Knight Cecil. Light Paladin. I almost said Light Knight, that's dumb. Paladin Cecil. Cecil Harvey from Final Fantasy IV. Realizes he's committed atrocities. It's one of those, he's definitely the character up to that point throughout the games that has the most character, the most depth. Everyone before that's kind of lame. Cecil Harvey comes in, starts off as a Dark Knight, like the general, lieutenant, what have you, of the evil Emperor's army, and you're committing war crimes. And then you must reject who you have become to become better. And that's when he becomes the Paladin. He changes from a Dark Knight to a Paladin role in-game. But he still carries that guilt, even after he's redeemed himself. And the growth through shame hits harder than failure. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely does. Like, it's cool. I just think it's manageable. It didn't hit me in an overly tragic way. I just can't be. I can't find a way where it does. Like, it's a cool character development. It's a shame he committed war crimes. It truly is. So did Parthenax. I like Parthenax. Celeste Sherry. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it is now. What makes her suffer? She is used as a weapon, not a person. She's like a general in the army, so they say. But she's not. She's treated like a mindless, magic-wielding slave. She loses faith in people. She loses faith in her purpose, and she loses all hope. She just becomes just a... and then she's locked away. Like when Kefka brings the world, you know, to near end, you then shift to Celeste being. That's why Celeste and Terra are the two main characters in that game. People say it could be really anyone. It really could be, but I think it's Celeste. I think Celeste has the most character development. I think she's fantastic. That she faces isolation after Kefka's world-ending event. So severe, because she's with Sid there too. Sid's part of the Empire, but they have a close relationship. And then Sid dies too, and she tries to you know, do the old naughty thing on herself. I don't think you can say that on the old YouTube, but yeah, she tries to do something bad to herself, which is pretty heavy for a friggin' Super Nintendo pixelated game back then. But she doesn't. But that single moment of despair, it's unforgettable. It's unforgettable. I'm gonna only go actively ruin me because I can't do that. I can't do that. Permanent emotional damage. I truly can't put it below the top tier. That one scene, it's just the poor girl. And then the redemption begins. Somewhat. But yeah. Oh, here we go again. Clive Rossfield blames himself for everything. Loses his family, his identity, and his sense of peace that he had with his family, just being there for his little brother who was going to be the guy. His little brother was going to be, you know, the fire guy, the phoenix. But then Clive awakens something within himself, the second fire guy, Ifrit. and then since then he absorbs every other god, and he simply exists to bear the world's pain. You know, he doesn't really ever get a moment to rest, eh? He kind of just, from that tutorial where his father gets ganked, it's just, the whole thing is just, it's a roller coaster ride that gets sad. But it's not top tier. I'm gonna go actively ruined me, because I mean, I think the most emotional scene in that game for me was the Torgal scene, and that's kind of like happy sad. So to explain that scene, it's Torgal's like looking off into the horizon. Torgal's your little dog. You had a dog that when you were a kid, right at the start of the game, you had a kid, you had this little puppy Torgal. He's your little doggo. You know, you'd be training in the training yard. He'd be your homie there. He was just always, you know, dogs are loyal. He was your guy. And then the events at Phoenix Gate happens, and he's there too. But then you lose him, you lose sight of him, blah, 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 blah. And then, I don't know how many years it is, it's a long time. Years go past. And then you bump into the dog. The dog never gives up hope looking for you. Like, if Torgal was on this list, Torgal's top, because that's gut. Never gives up. Torgal finds you, and even in that moment, it's so early in the game when you're back with Torgal, it kind of doesn't hit. I don't know why it didn't hit me, that this is that dog that I had a puppy that I'd been separated with for years, that we're now back together. It just didn't click until before the final battle, had to do a side quest with him. Just with him, where he wanted you to go away to, there was a little island they used to sail to together where they'd just hang out when he was a puppy and Clive was a little boy. And Torgal wants you to go there, and you go there, and there's all these little things from where Torgal lost you, from the event at Phoenix Gate, all the rubble, even Clive's sword that he had, his training sword. All these little things are on that island that Torgal had, over the years, he'd taken them there just to not forget you. Mate, when I first saw that, it just hit me like a truck. I was like, and then Clive's like, oh, you never gave up looking for me, did you, boy? And it's like, this dog. And then when the end of the game, spoilers, Clive, that's quite common in Final Fantasy, Clive has to give his life to save the world, blah, 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 blah. Jill's there. Jill's a cool character too. Jill's there and she cries because she knows what's happening, but it's Torgal howling at the star. It's Torgal. I was like, Torgal! I don't care about the love story with the women. You've got to say goodbye to the dog. So yeah, Torgal would be permanent emotional damage, but Clive can go there. Alright, that was a big story. Cloud Strife. What makes him suffer? His identity is fractured by trauma and guilt. He's living someone else's dream, and he hates himself for surviving. Really quite realistic trauma points there of people go through. And it hurts because you know something's off. Even in the original game, you know something's off. Like, people aren't, they're not reacting to you in the way, like, Tifa's hiding something. Everything's just a little bit off, and you watch him slowly realize the truth as he claws through his madness. And I've been up and down on this. Like I think Zack isn't more tragic. What happens to Zack is tragic, but Cloud has to live with it. Like, there's the line, Zack died a hero, Cloud lived insane. And that's like, what one would you rather? It's a dichotomy. I think he should be permanent emotional damage because they're such real mental health traumatic talking points that he goes through. It's like a PTSD. It's that survivor's guilt. He's the only one left. It's rough. I think it's rough, and it hits me rougher now that I'm older. As younger, I just didn't quite understand, I think. Oba Yunfang, Final Fantasy 13. Her great fear is losing the one she protects, but she carries the responsibility without complaint. and the world won't reward her loyalty. Now, she's strong because she has to be, but I don't think she shows many chinks in her armor. Like, it's sad. Her and Vanille, it's sad, but it doesn't. It's manageable trauma to me. I can manage that. Again, it's probably a Final Fantasy 13 thing, that the game personally didn't resonate with me too much. Freya Crescent from Final Fantasy 9. She loses her homeland. She doesn't lose the person she loves, but he loses his memory, so she completely forgets who she is. And then she's left to grieve while the world moves on. And throughout the game, honestly, her pain is never fully resolved. She's a silent sufferer, but she's a warrior. She pushes through. I'm going to go lingering sadness for her, because she's part of the party, but she still is a side character. That game is heavily on Garnet, Zidane, and Vivi. I feel like they're the three for sure. Garnet. What makes her suffer? She loses her mother emotionally for the longest time as she's been corrupted, and literally when she blows up. She's forced to grow up almost instantly and become a queen and become a great summoned beast wielding white mage. But she watches her kingdom fall. It's pretty rough. You really see the loss of innocence in real time. Like, she's a lot similar to like how some of the women in Game of Thrones are really thrust into the fire far too early. That was Garnet, but she came through. I'm gonna go lingering sadness for her too. I don't know, forgive me, it's hard. It's harder for me to relate to that than some of these other female characters. It's super sad and super good story, but I mean, lingering sadness is still sad. Like, I'm sad he's sitting here talking about it. Hope Esthine witnesses his mother's death. Now, remember, it's not how traumatic that character was, it's how upset and emotional damaged I became because of him. So Hope is immediately at the bottom because I do not care for Hope. But objectively, his scene with his mother's death is super sad. That would have happened to anyone. That's awful, of course. But Hope I didn't care about. He is consumed by guilt and revenge on the guy that tried to save his mother, all because he's too young to understand. Like, it's a completely understandable situation from the outside. But he thinks it's Snow's fault. So he just harbors this hatred of Snow. And he's forced to mature too fast. And it is quite realistic grief. It's uncomfortably realistic grief, but again, the game itself didn't hit me. Like, there was no, like, I'm a crier. I'll cry at shit at the drop of a hat. If it's happy, sad. If it's sad, sad. Nothing in that game got me. Nothing. So manageable. Ignis. Yep. Ignis, before I even get into the character, he's gonna go completely top. Just for now. Permanent emotional damage. I think about it. I might think about that more than anyone on this list besides maybe Noctis and Squall. But Ignis' character arc, like, again, it's what they've done with the DLC in that game. They introduced some really important plot points in the DLC that, since they're left out of the base game, I think you're leaving a lot of huge character depth off of a lot of people's plates because they didn't play the DLC. You've got to purchase it. But Ignis puts duty above himself always. A true professional, but he's also Noctis' friend. You know, that's driving it too. He never complains, and the losing his sight, he puts on the ring. I've got a ring. I'm looking at it. Can't put it on. Luckily, it's too small, so I can't put it on. So I'll never know if I'm the royal line because I can't physically fit it on. But luckily, I would have tried by now, and I could have lost an arm or an eye, or whatever the fuck would happen to me, my willy. Loses his sight protecting Noctis. Now he puts the ring on out of desperation. Noctis is about to get ganked by Arden. The ring rolls to Ignis, he puts it on, and he gives his sight. He says, I'll give whatever if you give me the power to save my prince. They take his eyesight, and he is blind from then on. But you miss this because Noctis is knocked out. You just wake up and Ignis is blind. And he's got a cane and he's walking around. But when you play Ignis's DLC and you see it for him, he gets super powerful and he fucks Arden up with the power of the kings. And he does it willingly to protect Noctis. And it's the scene it's all the scenes right when Noctis, yeah. It's Noctis's reaction with these characters, but man, just when you see what he gave, and then he doesn't complain once. Yeah. No, you're a top. I changed my mind here. Checked. Fails as a father. Learns too late how to be better. Literally, like, right before he dies. You can tell this journey he went on with Braska and Orin. He learned a lot. He learned what he's missing. And it's just... The reason why it kind of does make me feel a little bit sad. So I'm going to quiet background paint on it because it's that feeling of he gets his redemption, but it's just far too late. Like it's just too late. The damage is done. Like on Tidus as a person, he being absent for all that. It's just hard to, you know. Laguna Loire. Loses love and stability. Being a member of the army, he had his one true love, Renoa's mother, Lady Julie, one of them. And then has his second love, Squall's mother, who she dies. She might even die in childbirth of Squall. And when Laguna's not there. He's off. Is he off in the war? I think he's at least off in Esther. He avoids his responsibility out of fear. That's why he keeps moving around. He wanted to be a journalist, I think, because he didn't want to stay on one place too long. But he regrets what he didn't do. And it's same like Jet. It's this missed chances. It's the late. He's late to everything. Like he even has that thing with Squall. He's like, after all this is said and done, we need to have a chat. But as you're playing the game, you never get that. You never get that moment. So it's lingering sadness for me for that. Nothing's going up, bro. It's the same thing. It's the missed chances. But they sting more than failure. He didn't fail. He never got the chance to really, yeah. Lightning. Forced into leadership. Suppresses her emotions to survive, but she loses everyone she tries to protect. Emotional isolation as armor. Very similar to Squall. Squall has the same kind of character background. He puts up walls to stop people hurting him. So she's actually, I've never really put that together in my head, that she's quite similar to Squall's emotional baggage. But it's Final Fantasy 13. She's going to go at the bottom of there. Just because they had 3 games that she's a part of. And I can't really tell you one memorable thing. Lulu has already watched others fail and die. She expects loss, but she still chooses to help. And she's grieving before the story even starts. She's been on 2 pilgrimages. I think it's 2 before. Both summoners have died. So she has to come walk her ass back home. Oh, and she failed. Then she was with Waka's brother. He died fighting Sin. So she's then a widow. And yet she still goes on another pilgrimage with Yuna, the girl she's known since she was, 7? Her little sister, essentially. And she's going to go, alright, we're going to go. Imagine if she lost her. She'd probably just walk off the scar and the calmlands. Just walk in there. She probably couldn't handle it. And then that's befitting a black mage. You know, the black mages, not only are they damage dealers, you know, in the game's fabric, but they should be darker personality types, and that nails it. I'm gonna go actively ruined me, but at the very top of it. I don't think I'm gonna go personal emotional damage, because you see X2 and you see where she gets to. Like, she has a kid with Waka, she's happy because Yuna survived. Like, she succeeded, she got her redemption, but man, she does a lot of grieving. Noctis knows his fate very early on. It was written, it's a prophecy, what he has to do. At the end, he accepts death without resentment, but it's just sad he loses his youth and his whole life, really, to destiny. And in that instance, acceptance is more painful than resistance, because he had to actively, you know, he had to brace himself and be like, right, I have to give my life. But then that's the whole the game is about everyone around him's giving something, and then Noctis is his prince, and he constantly feeling like he's not giving enough, or he's being judged for what he's doing. Whereas, you know, Ignis gives his eyes. It's just super. I don't know if he like, I think the Ignis thing with the eyes is sadder. I think it made me sadder. Yeah, I think I've got to go there, man. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one for me. Renoa heartily. She lives in her head. Ideal world. General's daughter, crushed by responsibility. She becomes a danger to others when she inherits the sorceress abilities, and she fears losing control of herself. And so she wants to lock herself away. And then Squall says, "Fuck that! You're coming with me, Sheila. I'll protect you." But it's sad, and I'm gonna go lingering sadness for her too. Because I don't know, you view it through Squall's perspective, so he's kind of the character I resonate more with, being super sad. Sephiroth. Identity destroyed by lies. Who he thought he was not who he was, and when he found out who he was disgusted, and then he felt fundamentally alone because there's no one else there like him. There was Genesis and Angel, who were a wee bit like that, but they're gone. And then instead of, he's like, should I be vulnerable? He's like, nah, I'm going to destroy the planet. And pain became his purpose. But I mean, how many, like, what's the difference if you were raised by a family and then you found out a little bit older you were adopted? You know, it'd be a shock. But then I don't think you should try and summon a meteor to crash into the planet's surface to wound it to the point where it'll repair itself with its inner life stream, and then you can enter that life stream and become one with the planet and rule over it. Sovereignty. I don't think that's an acceptable response to finding out you're adopted. So, manageable trauma. Above hope. Hope sucks. Squall Leonhardt. What makes him suffer? Fear of abandonment. Yep, he was abandoned as a child. He was at an orphanage. Funnily enough, he doesn't just try and destroy the fucking world. And like lightning, he uses emotional detachment as survival, but he learns to care despite that fear of letting people in, and that's what Renoa is. And then Renoa almost gets taken away from him, and that's when they were going to lock her up in the Sorceress Memorial, and that's why he's like, even though it does take like some of the girls and stuff to push him, like Quistis and all that, they're like, what are you even doing here? Like, you shouldn't have let her go. And he's like, fuck, you're actually right, I'm the dumbest. And then they just breaks her out immediately, and he's like, fuck this, Hadouken! And he gets her out. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I love it. And it hurts me, as it's a painfully relatable emotional shutdown. Like I said, I kind of based a fair bit of my personality growing up on this guy. I literally have Griever, his Griever, his line tattooed on me. It's, yeah. I think it's permanent. It's got to be the top of permanent emotional damage, because then when I go through emotional shit, this is what I do. I react to it like him. Now, what came first? Was I always going to do that, or did the game fucking, you know, did the game push me in that way, or did I recognize that in myself and I gravitated towards him? I don't know. But he's the top. Tara Branford. She has her free will stolen. She puts that crown on, that little head thing, and it makes her a mindless puppet for the evil empire. She struggles to understand her humanity because she's not really a human. Isn't she a half? She's a half-breed. She's a half summon, half Esper, half human. So she feels like she doesn't belong anywhere, and it's a soft sadness that fully never leaves. Like, it's kind of, yeah, it's lingering sadness. Like, it's just there. Like, she's just constantly quite a sad girl, and it is sad. Titus learns his existence is temporary. Like, quite a little bit later on, to be fair, in his mind, he's lived a full, 17 years? But then he learns that, yeah, he is essentially just a dream. He finds love, knowing it won't last. And he chooses that he has to sacrifice himself. And he doesn't tell the party this. He knows when they defeat sin properly that's it. That he's gone skis. That's why Una gets quite sad when he goes. But he smiles through it. Smiling through annihilation. So, I don't really think it's trauma. He kind of wasn't real in the first place. He became real in a sense that he played such an important role in saving the real place. And then he smiled at the end. Like, it's sad, but Yuna's the one that has to live with the sadness, not Titus. Titus is Gonskis. He even high-fives Jecht, who he hated his whole life as he's running away. Oh yeah, got some poon. Tifa Lockhart. What makes her suffer? Loses her home and family. The old Sniffleheim. But despite all that, she's the one that carries everyone else emotionally. What, like, that's why Cloud's a bit of a ball bag, because Cloud doesn't see what she's from the same place. Her father got ganked. You know, she got a bit ganked. But she still puts herself last. It's a strength that never gets acknowledged. It's getting more acknowledged in the remake. And I mean, there's still another part of that to go, so she's got some heavy lifting to go, because they got to help Cloud through all this bullshit. Yeah, permanent. It's sad. Vivi. Learns he will die young. Questions existence and meaning. Faces mortality with innocence. Literally, just existential dread. In child form. And it's so sad to watch him deal with it. And then, you know, at the end of the game, he's just gone. He's just gone skis. Because they only live a certain amount of time. It just is what it is. And he finds that out, and then he has to deal with it, and it's sad, man. Una. Raised to die for others. She's kind of, her father did it, it's just intrinsically in her head that I need to, I guess, give my life for this, which is crazy. And she carries that hope, despite the certainty of death. And then she must unlearn sacrifice. But then you know where heartbreak's coming. It's inevitable. It's gentle, but it's inevitable. Losing your father. Yeah, I'll put her there. Like, she makes me sad. I think about Una's story quite a lot. Zack Fair believes wholeheartedly in a system that fails him. feel like his optimism just gets punished. It's like the opposite of Squall. Zack hits everything with a smile and just head on, like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And he always gets kicked in the balls. He never sees the impact of his actions. He's the precursor, he is the driving force behind Cloud. But he never... I mean, look, if I'm just going to go off how much emotional damage, like, probably out of every single scene in Final Fantasy, like, ranking emotional scenes, the scene with Clive's father and Joshua, that's up there. The scene where Ignis and Noctis shake hands when he's blind, that's up there. Aerith's stabbing, that's up there. But honestly, the worst one out of them all, the saddest one out of them all, man, is Zack's death, and that scene afterwards with Cloud, which basically imprinted his psyche with Zack's persona, just because he was so muddled up anyway coming out of that, like, intense Mako overdose. Zack gave him the Buster Sword and died on that hill, giving his life to save Cloud, who at that point was he was a vegetable. Like, he just still said, no, it's my friend, we can do this, and he gave his life. Last, Zidane Tribal. He was created as a tool. Fears he doesn't matter anymore, but he finds meaning anyway. It's quite similar to Vivi, really, existential crisis again, but this he faces it a bit happier. I don't know, it does not hit me the same as a lot of these. It's just what it is. Anyway, this list isn't about who suffered the most, it's about who made me suffer the most, so please... I'm sorry, a lot of them I've gone on wee tangents, but I just start talking about these scenes that hit me, and I'll start going. But please tell me, who's the character that gave you the most emotional trauma? I'd love to hear others, just to see everyone's different opinions. Yeah, thanks very much, guys. See you!